Alright, what's up everybody? I am going to be cleaning my LV2. It's pretty dirty from the last tournament I played in. As you can see, there's just paint in the grips there. Just overall dirty, so just going to go do a quick run through. Clean it all up, just show you what I do. When I clean my guns, paintball markers, I don't get too crazy. I don't pull the rigs apart usually unless they're actually leaking or there's an issue. I keep them well lubricated and things like that, so I don't need to worry about that. But let's go ahead and start. First thing I do is usually just get all the excess paint and dirt and everything off the outside. Just kind of rub it all down. Pull the bolt out. Wipe that off. It didn't actually chop or break paint. I got shot right there. And then in this bowl is water and rubbing alcohol, so just kind of dip it in there. And then we'll let that dry off. I have the toothbrush. Next thing I do is pull the grips off. And obviously there's paint in the cracks on the grips, so I always give them a good scrub down with the toothbrush. Pop the battery out while I'm at it. Let me bring this closer. One thing that always, it's like a pet peeve of mine, is when I'm kind of surfing through like Facebook on the groups where people are selling their markers and paintball equipment and things. You always see them posting their gun, their marker up, and it always just filthy ass grips, and that's just a pet peeve of mine. Obviously they're always going to get dirty playing and stuff like that, but I don't know. I've played for a long time. I like to keep my gear pretty clean after use of it. See, but no more paint in the cracks, crevices. Same on these. Just dry them off a little bit, but most part always let that stuff air dry. And the other. Dry these off a little, and then I just noticed on the bolt here, under the pin, some paint. So we'll let all those parts dry, just move this bowl over. Get back to the marker itself. Like I said, I like to wipe off any excess paint from getting shot or oils, whatever it is that's on it. Just kind of wipe it all down. I'll do that after anyway when I finish. But I did get shot in the trigger. You can kind of see it down in there. So we're going to Q-tip that up, and I'll probably pull the trigger out just to make it easy. But go ahead and do that. And by the way, it's my Eclipse LV2. I shot Eagles for a long time. I have Two excessive egos, a black and the gold one. I had an 08 a long time ago. I had an E-Tech 1 a long time ago. So I kind of like my egos, but I have a lot of different other guns. Two Forces. I don't know, just a lot. MacDev XDR. MacDev XDR, they're underrated guns. Those are actually really nice, in my opinion. Get a kind of a, when you're shooting, you get like a, almost like a mechanical feel. And I don't know, I like that. I grew up shooting autocockers. And, you know, obviously you got the back block going back and all that stuff, all the moving parts on autocockers. So, like, having a little bit of, I guess you could say like a response when you pull the trigger instead of just like the puff, is fine with me. I mean, really, it's all supposed to be fun anyway. A lot of people argue, oh, this gun's better than that gun, and I mean, they all function pretty much the same in reality if we really wanted to get in a debate, you know, about it. But to each his own. I prefer my Planet Eclipse for the most part, but like I said, I have a lot of the guns. WGP autocockers, a sniper WGP. You can see they're all up there. I don't know if I can see that on the camera there. 1 second. That stack is all guns. One day I'll do like a video. I'll pull them all out and kind of display them all. Another set I have is a 2003 Viking, aka Viking, a 2002, aka Excalibur. Those are really nice guns back in the day. I mean, they still are, but there's, you know, really heavy. Most people, they're just getting into the sport now and everything. They're not going to know anything about those type of guns, but they're actually really air efficient, made in America. You know, if you like that, and they just work really well. But get the paint out of the little crevice here, pop the eye out. I use the Q-tip, getting little cracks, try and get any of the like the excess paint and oils off the body and stuff. I'm a little meticulous about my guns. I like to keep them really clean. Just kind of always been that way. Every time after a day of play, always break them down for the most part. Not fully. You know, I don't get crazy, like I said, with pulling the regs apart or, you know, taking the frame apart or anything like that. Unless I get like shot in the cracks or something, and then obviously there's going to be paint between the frame and the body, so then I'll pop that off at that point. But for the most part, I just make sure to get all the excess oils and paint off of it. So I'm just kind of getting in the eye area here. From what I remember, I think I got shot in the side of the marker, we'll say, right? It's a real sensitive subject there. Using the word gun, obviously we don't want to bring bad attention to paintball. But obviously there's still a safety level of common sense that needs to be understood. You know, use your barrel condoms, don't point it at people. You know, same thing as a real gun. Don't point unless you tend to shoot someone type thing. Barrel condoms when you're not playing. Turn the gun off if you can, stuff like that. Common sense. It's kind of rare these days, but most paintball players have all that. So I'm just kind of Q-tipping this side of the gun, then we'll switch to the other side, pop the eye cover off on that side. Use a little air action here, get grease and oil out of there. Usually clean both sides before I pop the eye covers back on and stuff. And let me know in the comments, actually. So Planet Eclipse used to do the dual type of trigger activation. So we have the micro switch now, obviously, in the LV2 and all their other guns. I think it might have been the LV1, maybe the CS2. I never had a CS2, but where they had the actual optical trigger activation as well. So where like on the trigger, it'd have that piece that would swing past the basically reflective eyes on the board. I really liked that, only because I grew up shooting an E-blade when those first came out, and put that on my autococker. I still have it, and it just felt really nice trigger that way. CS1 has it that way too. I have one of those, and that's how I have my CS1 set up. But you know, it is what it is. The switch obviously works just as good. It's just personal preference. Just like this, you know, the trigger, I like the scythe style trigger where it kind of curves down like that. You know, and when Egos were first coming out, they were like the blade trigger, and then obviously all the aftermarkets, custom products, everyone was making an aftermarket trigger, and then they switched to this style for some of the models for a while, because for a while they were coming out with, you know, with one every year. 05, 06, 07, 08, 09. I had an 08, like I said that earlier, but I like this style. I pulled this off my CS1 and put it on here, and then I think I got an Exalt, because Exalt just recently came out with this style shape trigger. I put an Exalt one on my CS1 to kind of match that. But yeah, I like this trigger, this style. But you know, trigger is a trigger. They all function the same when you pull it. So just kind of personal preference. So we'll switch to the other side now. This side's not that bad, oily paint wise. And I usually don't get too crazy dirty playing. I have to travel 2.5 hours to any real organized business field, because where I live, there's just no longer any fields. Growing up, there was, at one point, there was, let's see, 1, 2, there was like 3 at one time, and then they all slowly closed, and then there was 2 at one time, and then they both pretty much closed. It's unfortunate, because in northern Nevada, is where I live, there is actually no organized paintball business field or anything. The closest is 2.5 hours away in Sacramento at Capitol Edge Paintball Park. Shout out to Dave Baines and the Sepple League and stuff like that. It's really fun to play in, but glad that that's only 2.5 hours away. Otherwise there'd be nothing other than like the kind of woods ball, which I play too in Reno on the weekends, just because there's, like I said, there's no other field. So there is a group of guys that we all get together and go play out there. It's pretty fun. Played this last Sunday. It was really hot. It's about 102, but there was shade, so that made it nice. Let's see, we'll pop off the rammer cap here. Wrong size. Pull the rammer out. Always just wipe off the excess stuff on the rammer cap. Wipe off any excess oil. I don't know if you can see that, but I do use the heavy rammer in my LV2. I don't get crazy with tuning or anything. You know, once it shoots and rips, just works, I leave it. You know, back in the day, that was a thing to do. You know, custom auto cockers, just always tweaking your guns, make them a little faster, stuff like that. Now that everything's kind of universalized with the rate of fire and stuff like that, it doesn't really matter. But you know, you can always tweak it, softer shot, things like that. But I like to just leave it. It works. It works. So, and then always clean out the whole breech there, especially since obviously I got shot in it. So I just run a barrel swab through here. Do a little twist. I don't know if you can see in there, but yeah, pretty clean. But yeah, for the most part, I keep it pretty basic. When I clean the gun, I just make sure to, you know, your regular maintenance. That's all you really need. If you take care of any paintball gun, any paintball marker, it'll always work. You know, make sure you always lube it, whether it's grease or oil, whatever your marker uses. You treat it right, maintain it, it will treat you well. I've had paintball markers for, I don't know, going on 20 years or so, or maybe even longer. I started playing when I was 12, 36 now. So, like I said, the first paintball marker I ever had actually was a Spider TL Plus. That was an awesome gun compared to the Reynolds at the indoor field I had, which was a Tippmann Pro carbine. So having the Spider with the dual finger trigger, you know, obviously everything back then was mechanical. One of the first, one of the first things for like Spiders was that Booyah trigger frame. But like Angels were around and stuff like that back then. Didn't have eyes, I don't think. So, you know, everything was limited. The technology was limited. What we have nowadays is just beyond futuristic compared to back in, say, 24 years ago from when I started. But it's for the best, I would say. As long as it keeps progressing, stuff like that. You know, there's always going to be people that wants the new hot marker, stuff like that. Don't blame them. You know, it's always fun to get a new marker. They're cool to play with. I actually shot a GOR5 this past weekend on Sunday. Really smooth, super nice guns. All playing Eclipse are nice markers. But yeah, it was really nice, quiet. But again, growing up shooting autocockers, you know, quiet, smooth, all that. Pretty much anything's more smooth than those. I mean, autocockers are nice and quiet too, actually. But you know, if you're ripping on it, the back block's moving, stuff like that. Especially if it's E-bladed. But let's see. Let's get this eye out of here. Just pop it off here. Let's just do a little rub on the eye there. Again, get some of that excess oil out of there. Pop the eye back in. I don't think I did that on this side. We'll do that here. Yeah, I got purchased this marker from A&S Gear. They did the ano, or you know, they send it out to whoever they do it. They did the ano. In here it's called what does that say? if that focuses at all. I think it says war hardened. But yeah, when the LV2 came out, I was like, I have to have one from shooting egos for so long, and I didn't want just the basic anodizing 2 colors that's they produce out, you know. So I waited probably almost a year, and then this popped up on ANS's website and had to have it, and now here it is. So I like it. Let's go ahead. So this is pretty much it, the basics. I wipe it all off. I wipe out the breech like I did. Actually, now that I think about it, could just dip this in here a little bit. Squeeze that out. Again, this is just water and rubbing alcohol. So I'll put this in there, kind of get some of the dust, dirt out of the main breech here. Same down there. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, I don't take apart the regs or anything until there's an actual issue. But yeah. So then let's go ahead and put the trigger back in. Oh wait, still a little paint right there. But yeah, overall I have, I don't know, like 16 paintball markers, all from different decades and eras and generations of paintball. And then I was kind of researching, thinking of like what next one I would get if I was going to get one. You know, when I was younger, you know, a kid, you don't have any money. You gotta, you know, save up and stuff like that. So, now that I'm older, I save up still, since paintball markers are pretty expensive. But I save up and then, you know, decide if I want to try one out or not. And I can't really think of one right now on the market that I would be interested in trying out. Like I said, I shot the GOR5. That was really nice. I have a CS1. You know, it's debatable on, you know, oh, the shot's so soft, and then, you know, before the next generation marker comes out, the marker everyone has, you know, is, oh, this is the best thing, and then all of a sudden they come out with a new one, and it shoots a little softer, maybe a little more efficient, stuff like that. But I mean, you know, we got to be realistic about it. They can only do so much, and all of them shoot great nowadays. You know, so it's really just preference, what someone wants, but to each his own, I guess. But I like my egos. One day I'll do a video like pulling out all my markers, and just kind of showing everything I have. Like I said, I have like a CS1, 2 Field 1 Forces, 2 Excessive Egos, aka Excalibur, aka Viking, MacDev XDR, a half-block autococker, full-size autococker, which is like my original gun from 2000. I changed the body, but all the other stuff's pretty much right around that same time frame. So it's 10. Yeah, I can't even remember them all, but they're all up there. I don't know if you can see that stack, yeah. But so then we'll hit the rammer here next. I use oil. This stuff's great. It's hard to find now, but let's see if we can get it on camera. Outlast 100% synthetic ultra lube premium gun oil. Been using this stuff since 1999, 2000, right around there. It's absolutely great. I put a little bit in this, get it on camera, a little of it in this bottle, and then I just kind of drop on each O-ring, a little there, and then just kind of rub it all on there. And then drop that in. For the rammer cap, I don't usually oil that O-ring. I do finger tight and then just barely a crank there. Feed neck's dirty right there. See if we can get in the air. Blast that out of there. And then just kind of Q-tip it. Q-tips are the way to go, and you really want to clean your gun marker really well. But yeah, there we go. So then next, the bolt. It's still dirty in there. Get that with a toothbrush. I'm a little OCD with cleaning my markers out, but that's just what I like to do. I spent $2,000 on this one, so not bragging or anything, that's just the cost. I mean, everyone knows pricing has gone up substantially, you know, over time, which is just how it works, inflation, economy, things like that. But you know, the LV2 was like $1,500 new, and then with a custom ammo, you know, extra $500, but worth it to me. They shoot really nice. If you haven't shot one of these, I highly recommend it, just to try it out. Real smooth. There's actually a little bit of paint in that O-ring. See if we can get that off. Yeah, just rub that. But I haven't had really any issues with this LV2. Shoots really good. Sorry about the camera. I don't know why it's like I'm not moving my head that way. It's just doing that, but I'll figure it out. And then as I do more cleaning videos of all my other guns, markers, sorry, don't want to bring that bad you know, where people, oh god, they're guns, stuff like that. No, they're considered paintball markers. Yes, they shoot a projectile, which is fully what's the word I want to use? Non-lethal. I mean, I guess if you got shot in the face like loader's worth, you'd probably be pretty screwed up. But yeah, so bolts lubed up with the oil. I always put just a little bit on there like that. I just wipe a little off. But I know it's Delrin, self-lubricating, stuff like that. You don't, but I still do a little bit on there just to keep the O-rings nice and things like that. But yeah, again, usually I do wipe out the threads. And just get that black dirty stuff out of there. If you don't, it builds up over time and just kind of looks gross. But, and then the grips back together. Make sure, always just inspect them. Make sure I cleaned them up well. So yeah, this one's all good. Pop that on. They're all fully dry. When Eclipse did this, I want to say for the CS2 with these like two-piece grips with the little sliding lock there, that was a big game changer. Makes it real easy. And slide that one on. Snap, snap. I left the battery out. I'm probably gonna play this weekend, so just get that in there, make sure this turns on. Sweet. All right, grips.